Hey guys, I'm back with you for another day of yoga. Feel free to do this one now or later. It's your call. Whenever you're ready, you're going to come to your mat space. So this is one of my more gentle flows. I think it's really just meant to open up channels within the body, relax the muscles, get you into an abyss of bliss, as I've been hearing one of my teachers say recently, and I really like it. Allowing yourself to move into a place of rest, of curiosity, and at the same time curiosity and exploration. Kind of leaving things behind, but also taking your emotional state with you. You know, we kind of get these feelings like we can't allow our emotions to stay with us in our life as we move about our day, like it gets in the way or drags us down or something. But while sometimes that is true, there's also a space where we can interact with these emotions and allow them to hold a space within ourselves, within our awareness, our consciousness, because there is a wisdom in those emotions. Not to sound too corny, but our bodies are quite wise, as is the world around us at times. We don't always see it, but this, hopefully, will be a time when you can dive deep and really release your tension, whatever it is that you're holding right now. So if you are ready, we're going to come to a child's pose. Child's pose. So we're going to walk our knees out, big toes together if this feels okay. We're going to thread our hands back next to our feet, in between our knees, and let your forehead come to the mat. This is just another way of coming into child's pose, coming into a restful place. If this doesn't feel good, find another orientation that does work for you today. Beginning to ground down, feeling the earth beneath us, holding us, rising up to support our skeleton, the places where we touch the ground. Feel your spine getting longer, maybe your hips sinking back, arriving in this place with your body that you are in right now. Come to settle within your skin. As I like to say, gather all of the pieces of yourself that might be scattered elsewhere, doing an activity, driving the car. Park the car and bring that piece of yourself to the present moment. And while you're here, maybe think of allow an emotion to arise. Maybe one that has been with you for a while now. Maybe one that is causing you discomfort. There is a place for it here. Maybe allow yourself to feel it and see where that feeling emerges for you in your body, in your physical plane. This morning I was doing meditation posted by one of my friends. And she had us place our hand on the place where you felt the emotion arising, the place where our body stores this feeling, these thoughts in our skin. So if that feels right to you right now, I encourage you to unleash your arms out in front of you on the mat, and then maybe place your hand where you feel that emotion arising. Just making contact, recognizing that it's there. Release your hands back on your mat and feel the groundedness, your body totally releasing to the support of gravity. Take another breath. Breathing into this space where you feel your emotions, the space where you feel any tensions. Take another breath. Continuing with every breath to sink further into your being, your body. And through extension, your mind. With your next inhale, rise up to all fours, coming into a tabletop, setting yourself up, planting your hands. Spread the fingers wide, feeling that entire surface pressing into the ground. Feel the long spine, the length through the neck, moving out through the crown of the head. Pull yourself in every direction out through your tail and up through your crown of your head. With your next inhale, you're going to drop the belly, bring the gaze forward for cow. Roll the shoulders away from the ears. And exhale, press the hands into the ground, tuck the tail, gaze goes back. Press into the hands here. Inhale, drop the belly. Draw the gaze forward, moving with the breath. Exhale, tuck the tail, gaze goes back. Asking every breath, ask permission from the muscles. Do you want to go further? Or are we okay where we are? Keep moving with your breath, allowing the natural rhythm to arise. So allow yourself to listen, creating the space. Feeling the ease of the spine. As it slides forward and back. Creating more space with every breath. We're going to be taking our time throughout this whole practice, so I encourage you to play with movement and stillness. So we'll start that now. Maybe ask your body, what do you want? What do you need? What are the muscles ready for? So respond with stillness or organic movement, getting into what you need here and now. But if you are moving, maybe explore the side body, in stillness, you explore the side body, pausing, moving hips side to side. All of it with the breath. Play with pressing one hand further into the ground. See how this affects your spinal mobility, the sensation of your muscles. With your next inhale, we're coming back into a cat or cow. Drop the belly, look forward. Tuck the toes under. Shift the weight of the torso back, straightening into the arms, bringing the belly back to the thighs. Lift the knees off the ground, slowly straightening the legs, slowly coming into your downward facing dog. We'll take a cleansing breath here, in through the nose, out through the mouth. Really arriving here before we start thinking about alignment. Just feel the first few breaths here, taking a pause. And then maybe roll the shoulder blades away from the ears, turning the armpits to face each other. Wrapping the triceps. Pressing into the insides of the hands, feeling length being created between the hands and the tailbone. Lifting out of the core to pull the hips further away. Feeling compression in the hips, maybe slight bend of the knees is really nice. You can stay here or drop down to a child's pose. Be here for another 5 breaths. See what you need in your body and act accordingly. Trust the wisdom of the body. With your next inhale, come back up into a downward facing dog. Inhale, right leg goes high up, 3-legged dog. Maybe open the hips slightly, rising that right hip up, feeling the opening of the hips. Maybe push down in the left heel. Maybe slight pulses in the left heel. Just exploring what is here in this hamstring, the calf. And then bring the right hip down slightly, feeling how the leg might have to lower to do this. Push away through the heel, using the strength of the core to push. Inhale. Exhale, draw the right knee into the chest, scooping it in between the hands. Drop the left knee, maybe keeping the left toes tucked to increase stability. Inhale, open the chest. And we're going to take some hip sways here. So just rocking the hips side to side, exploring through a little bit of movement, the range of motion within the hips. Breathing. Inhale, hands come up to your thigh if it feels right, lifting through the torso. Maybe allowing the hips to move forward and down. Draw the right hip back, left hip forward, feeling a realigning of the pelvis. Lifting, continuing to lift the chest, lifting from the belly button, rising out of the pelvis. Soften the shoulders. We're soft here but engaged. Engagement through pressing down through the right foot, pressing down through the legs to lift up, but also to soften down. With your next inhale, you're going to come back up slightly, coming back out of your right knee, allowing your hips to come towards being over your left knee. If you need to, always roll something underneath your left knee to protect it. There's no need to engage in any sort of pain or suffering here outside of what we are trying to accomplish or trying to engage with. The discomfort is okay. Pain is not. So we are here, hips back slightly. Inhale, lift the chest. And exhale, round into the spine, pressing hands into the thigh, rounding as if we are in cat pose. Finding contraction through the spine, extension being when we lift our chest up. But really lift out of the hip flexors, lifting out of the low back at the same time as rounding forward. Feeling the sensation. Any wobbling is okay. A few more breaths here. Inhale, roll the spine, lift the chest. Exhale, sink the hips, press the hands into the mat, send the hips back, straightening onto the right leg. Draw right toes back towards the face. Finding your half splits. The knee can be bent here while your body is adjusting to it. And taking that moment before diving deeper, before straightening the leg. Taking a moment to pause. And find the space. Draw the right hip back slightly. The toes are good to be engaged. The toes are good to be tucked to keep the quads engaged, the hamstrings engaged. So that way we ensure that when we need to come out, we don't overload the muscle while it's already being stretched. So it decreases the chance of injury here. So for your sake, and I strongly encourage you to flex the toes, engage the leg. Inhale, find a flat spine. Exhale, sink. Inhale, rise back forward, rebending into the right knee, hands come to the front, opening up. So kickstand the left foot back, making the shin 90 degree angle parallel with the back of the mat, straighten into the right leg, coming up into a gates pose. You're standing up on the left shin here, reorienting myself. So you're standing up, hips over left knee, press away through the outside of the right foot. Feel your hips settling here. We're going to open up into the side body, another place where we tend to store a lot of emotions. So inhale, arms come up, feel the length through the waist up to finger. And exhale, right hand comes down to the thigh or the shin, grounding down, press into that palm, feeling a sense of stability up through the shoulders. And then left hand can sweep overhead. Contract through the right side body and expand through the left. The this sort of contraction and expansion can help us find that space. It's a strengthening through release. Very, very beneficial things to be doing. Take one more breath here. Inhale, rise up, coming through center. Exhale, left hand comes to the ground and expand through the right side body this time. Feeling an engagement in the left waist, through the left hand pressing out of the ground. Finding full length from fingertips to the blade edge of your right foot. Pressing away. Feeling that connection in the core. Inhale here. Exhale, turn yourself back to face the ground. Regrounding the hands, regrounding the knees, coming into your tabletop. And bringing it back slowly into downward facing dog. However you want to get there. Press into the hands. Feel yourself arriving back in your downward facing dog. We'll take a few breaths here. Always remembering that you can drop into a child's pose. If this pose becomes too much, listen to your body. Your next inhale, left leg comes up, three-legged dog. Maybe open the hips slightly, pushing away through your left heel. Maybe slight pulses through the right ankle, gently lowering and then lifting. Arriving into our calves and our hamstrings. Inhale, find length through the foot. And exhale, begin lowering the hip slightly, sliding it so it's parallel with the right. It's in line. Press away through that left heel. Feel the heat rising. Feel the shaking. Whatever is going on, it's all good. It's practice. Doesn't matter how high that left foot is, but inhale, see if you can get a little higher. Exhale, draw the left knee into the chest. Step it between the hands. Drop the right knee. Pause here. Arriving into this hip. Acquainting yourself with the state of this side. Inhale, puff up the chest. Lift the heart forward. Exhale, roll the shoulders away, softening. Your next inhale, maybe bring the hands up to the thigh, lifting the chest, sinking into the hips for now. Remember to put the padding under your knee if you need to. Really noticing the ways in which your body needs extra attention, extra love, extra care is the way that we can move forward. Suffering through the pain is a way to hurt ourselves and hurt our bodies. I mean, you have to experience the pain when it happens to you, but forcing it upon yourself is not the way to go. We deserve love and care. Lifting out of the low back, engage the belly, Feel the chest rising, heart lifting. Maybe think about drawing left hip down, right hip forward. Acknowledging the sensations that arise when we get into these hips that hold a lot of emotion. I always heard them say that, but I never really believed it, but I do think it is honest and true. So rolling back away out of that left knee, coming more upright here. Place the hands on your thighs and inhale, lift the chest, and exhale, reverse, finding a cat spine, pressing away from your thigh. Yeah, your body is like a map of your history. Your emotions are part of your history. There is a realness to them that we forget. And these memories, this history is stored within our body, within our fascia, the things that hold us together, stop us from falling apart. Continue breathing here. And then begin releasing back in, rebending into the left knee. Place the hands on the ground. Inhale. Exhale, straighten that left leg, sending the hips back. I like to keep my toes tucked here sometimes to give my knee some extra, get it out of that extra pressure. Give it some space. So here in our half splits, start wherever you need to. Nice bend in the front knee is always okay. Hamstrings are unique to each person, but they tend to all have some, especially if you use them, they all have some sort of tension in them, and it changes from day to day. So lifting out of your hips here, inhale, lift the heart, send the spine long, and exhale to bow forward, maybe tucking the chin in. Continuing to flex the left toes back towards the face to engage the muscles. With every breath, easing further into it as our muscles become accustomed, they begin to open up. This process can take a long time. It can take many years. And that is, in the end, the goal is the journey itself. Next, to inhale, find a long spine. Exhale, rebend into that front knee, coming back. Little movement through the hips here, shaking the hips side to side. Next, you're going to kickstand the right shin back, parallel with the back of the mat, rising up onto the right knee. Send the left leg long, parallel with the front of the mat. Press through the outside of their left foot. Spend a moment here allowing the hips to settle, finding parallel, evenness. Lift up out of your hips. Inhale, find a long spine. Your next inhale, send the arms up. Exhale, left hand comes to thigh or shin. Begin contracting into the left side body, expanding into the right. With every breath, sinking further, allowing the muscles the time to contract and expand with care, with intention. Relax the left shoulder out of the ear, but continue pressing into your left hand, pressing to the outside of the left foot, feeling sense of stability. One more breath here. And inhale, rise back up. Exhale, coming to the other side. Right fingertips come to the ground. The left arm sweeps overhead, finding full length of the left side. Press into the fingertips, the right knee. Activating, but soft. Last breath here. And inhale, and exhale. Turn yourself back to tabletop, back to child's pose, just for a moment. Allowing yourself to integrate those same pieces of yourself with all the new things you've been doing, or all the things you are thinking, experiencing. Plant your hands into the mat. Bring yourself back up into a downward facing dog. Inhale, shift the weight forward into a plank. Exhale, drop the knees. Inhale, drop the belly, lift the gaze. Exhale, drop the chest in between the thumbs. Inhale, scoop the belly forward, lift the chest, cobra. Exhale, release and send it back to a downward facing dog. Feeling your movement flowing with your breath, fluid. Inhale, shift the weight forward, drop the knees, drop the belly, lift the gaze. Exhale, bend the elbows, drop the chest. Inhale, scoop the heart forward, sliding forward. Exhale, back to downward facing dog. We'll do that one more time. Inhale, shift the weight forward, drop the knees, drop the belly. Exhale, drop the chest. Inhale, scoop the heart forward, top cobra. Exhale, bring it back to downward facing dog. Inhale, left leg goes up. Exhale, draw it into the chest. Send the left knee to the outside of the left hand. Drop the hips. Half pigeon, or just pigeon as it's known. Sitting up in pigeon for a moment. Proud pigeon. Allow the hips to settle. Lifting the heart out of the hips. We're really getting into the hips today, so I hope you are as excited about it as I am. I sound so corny. If you're ready, bow the heart forward, walk the hands forward out in front of you.
present moment. The best way to do that is by listening. Listening is the most important part of communication. So, how can you listen? Expect to listen in many ways until you've listened to your body. It's a practice though, always changing. That's the beauty of listening. The natural world, which we are part of, is always in flux, always expanding and contracting. So the best way to ride out the waves is to stay on the board. By listening, reading the water, learning every day how to read, how to listen. Allow yourself to fully settle into this pose. Reading the muscles one more time to see about going further. On your next inhale, walk your hands back up, rising. Roll onto the left hip, send the right leg forward, settling onto your sits bones. Cross the left ankle over the knee, over the left knee. I have a lot of space in between my heel and my knee, so I'm going to steal the dog's pillow and draw it underneath in between my foot and my knee, just to give myself a little more support. So that's what we all really need during this crazy stretching of our society, our culture. Everyone's being stretched in such crazy ways. We need some pillow time, some support and love. So sitting up tall, begin to ask permission to fold forward, expanding out of the core, out of the hips, pulling the heart forward and up, over the knee, the shin. Tuck the chin into the chest, bow forward. Try to flex into both feet here. Here, our sits bones back in ground. So ground down through both hips into structure. But inhale, lift the heart into the chaos of space, of unknown, of stretching, opening up. We have our one foot in order, one foot in chaos, one foot being held, grounded, one foot in exploration, curiosity. Some softness in the upper back, still with integrity, lifting through the spine, continuing to strengthen our muscles of posture. soften in. And inhale, rise back up. Toss your pillow away and come into a pigeon on the other side. The right shin is coming across the front of the mat now. Left leg going back. Settle your hips. We're really diving into the hips here. So don't be afraid. Don't shy away. Ask permission. Take a pause before moving forward. Take what you need. Inhale, lift the chest, lift out of the core. Exhale. If it feels good, walk the forearms forward. Coming up into a bowed pigeon. Still here we have active legs. And you draw the right hip back. We have softness. Just keep breathing. Feel your consciousness filling up every inch of your body, expanding into the space all over, filling up your entire being. Stay with it. Take a breath into the difficulty, the discomfort. Know when too much is too much. At the same time, it's always a balance. But this is how we move forward. Flexibility is a long path, hopefully one that never ends. That's the glory of the practice. Find your depth. And inhale, begin to rise back up. Roll onto the right hip, draw the left foot across in front, crossing over the right thigh. Ground down the sits bones. I'm going to use my pillow again on this side. Starting conservatively, giving more support is always a nice thing to do. You can always take away the prop later. So inhale, sit out of your hips, rise out of your belly button. And exhale, draw the chin to the chest and begin to hinge. Rooting down through the hips. Your fingertips come in front, grounding down through the fingers. Perhaps another way of learning to listen is for every inhale, you find a pause, you find lengthening through the spine. You ask, is there more space? If there is, on the exhale, you move deeper. For example, at that point, that inhale, I realized that my knee was beginning to feel some tenderness, so I'm going to act accordingly and pause, retreat slightly. back it up a step. Reorient myself back into the pose, back into my hips. Now that my knee has been served, kindly I come back into my hips. And I breathe where I am. To appreciate how far you want to go with these poses. You might think, oh, I'm never going to get past this spot, this plateau perhaps that you've found. You can look back and appreciate how far you've already gone. Think, I had to get here somehow. All those moments, all those breaths in between where I was and where I am now. There's very little difference between where you are now and where you would like to be. Then the goal is in the journey. The act of creating spaces means so much more than that space itself, or simply the pose. Find your edge. And then inhale, roll your way back up, uncrossing your feet. We're going to send our legs out long, opening up, sending them out as far as they want to go, taking a bit of extension into the hips. Sit up tall. If you can't support yourself upright like this, it might be because your hip flexors are really tight, your hamstrings are really tight. So scoot yourself to somewhere where you have a little bit of support in the low back, because compressing into the low back just to achieve the pose is very counterproductive and quite harmful for your body and your practice itself. So find yourself in a position that you can sit up tall, support yourself, and then begin to hinge forward. Every inhale, finding that long spine. And every exhale, moving deeper. Take a quick scan of your toes, your quads. Maybe gently touch your quads. Are they engaged? The hamstrings are the antagonists of the quadriceps, so they're linked together in many ways. So if we contract the quads, then we can protect the hamstrings and also lengthen out through them more. This is where most of this space comes from, this relationship between contraction and extension, expansion, lengthening. Down through the hips, still expanding forward with the chest. From the belly button up, we extend forward, and the belly button down, we reach back, ground down. A nice inhale, coming back up. Exhale, slide the left hand down towards the foot. And open up through the right hand up to the sky. Maybe right hand comes to the back of the neck. Maybe use your forearm to ground down onto your shin or your thigh. Contract through the left side. Rise up out of the right hip. Maybe extend the arm long. Reaching for the foot. And if you find the foot, that's awesome. If you don't, also awesome. Keep breathing. Inhale, find some length. Exhale, roll the right shoulder forward, walk the hands around to the front, and roll your way back up. Exhale, slide the right hand down towards the foot, maybe grounding through the forearm. Inhale, lift the left arm up and over, perhaps coming hand to the back of the neck. Breathe into the shoulders, the space in the waist. Trust the wisdom of the body as you breathe, as you take the time to pause and listen. Maybe extend the left arm, reaching for the foot, but nope, no worries if you can't get there. The side is sticky for me. Today doesn't seem to be happening on this side. That's okay, there's always next time. There's always the time after that. There's always time. Inhale, rise back. Inhale, find that length. And exhale, roll forward, dragging the hands on the ground. And inhale to rise back up. Bring the knees together, round into the spine. Bring the hands to the back of the thighs. Turn yourself back to lie onto the mat. Ooh. And shift the hips side to side, bend into one knee and then the other. And then it could be nice to take eagle legs to kind of wrap the knees around each other, cross one leg over the other. And maybe if you can, wrap the foot behind the calf. If you can't, no worries. But if your right leg's on top, you're gonna drop your legs to the left, coming into a twist. If your left leg's on top, you're going to drop your legs to the right. Keep your right shoulder grounded, feeling this internal rotation in the thighs. Turn the gaze to face the other direction. I kind of have a nice setup here where my left hand is propped up underneath my knee to give it some, it's not reaching for the ground, it's not hanging out. It has the support from my hand while it moves further into this pose. One step in chaos, one step in structure, support. All this extensioning of the hips. It's nice to give them some internal rotation time. External, internal. It's all necessary. It's all connected. Next inhale, draw the knees back into the chest, uncross them. And exhale, cross them the other way, wrapping the foot if you can. And then drop the knees to the other side. Left arm or opposite arm can be extending out at a T. I have my fist underneath my knee. You can always do something more. You can put a pillow under there. It's always nice to take the time to show that you care for yourself. It's also kind of it's an expression of love. It's very funny that we're so good at showing care for others, in our someone that we have to care for, our child, our parents. But yet there's so much problems showing care for ourselves. but I think that it is indicative of a larger problem, not listening. We don't listen to ourselves, how can we expect to listen to others? Next inhale, draw the knees back into the chest, uncrossing the legs. Give them one more hug. And then send the legs long on the mat, finding your Shavasana, your final resting pose. Laying your body out on the mat. Integrating the practice, the day. Allowing it all to come together and just be. Allow the muscles of your face, your forehead, your jaw, all relaxed. Relax your throat, your chest, your arms, your fingers. Your wrists can gently open up if it feels right. Relax your belly. Release your hips to the ground. Your thighs, your knees gently rolling to a natural position. Relax the muscles of your feet and your toes. Surrender. You deserve care. You are deserving of love. Feel that love and care taking up space within your little bubble, allowing it to seep out of that bubble, reflecting itself into the world around you, the people, the environment. You can stay here for as long as you would like. This is your time. The light in me recognizes and honors the light in you.